So in the last video, if you remembered, if we run this again, okay, I want to be able to reset everything. So if I click on reset, it resets all 9 boxes. So if you remember before is we had this flow pane. This flow pane is what surrounds all of these labels. So if we can go back into Fxml, look at the flow pane, and the flow pane has these children that have these labels. Okay, we can use this to our advantage. Let's go back into the controller. I'm not going to hard code this. So again, for this one, it's not a big deal, but imagine if there were 81 labels, like in Sudoku. This is what I want you to do. I'm going to ask the flow pane, I'm going to say this dot fpane. Let me see, I'm looking for something with children. Get children. Okay. And I'll put that value here. I'm going to say here string items. I know it's not a string, but this will force this to change it to the right type. It's what is called an observable node. Okay. All right, so this is some sort of list. I can tell that list, I'm going to use them, say here, items. For each. And I'm going to say here, move my mouse over E to see what data type it is. E is a node, okay? And I know this node is actually a label because all its children are labels. So I'm going to say here, a label, L, downcast it to a label, and then I'll say here, L set text is equal to question mark. Okay, so let's see if that makes sense. Well, let's run it to make sure it works first, and then I'll explain it again. Let's run the last code that ran. I'll click on X, O, X, O, X, O, and so on. Click on the reset button. Boom, looks like it's working in one shot. All right, so again, you get all the children. In this case, all its children are labels. So if you look at here, there goes my children. These are the labels inside of my child. Okay. Each list in Java has this method called for each, which is basically kind of an iteration that's going on in the background. Okay, or you think of it as a looper for now, for lack of a better word. Because of generics, it knows that each row is a node. And for example, this is a node. This is a node. This is a node. But of course, that node is not the data type that we need. That node actually holds a label inside. So we downcast it to a label to get the label method called setText. Let me click on this and do a Control-T. I want to see if anywhere here I have a node as a parent. So remember I called it downcasting. So that means my parent from the label's point of view should be a node somewhere. So I keep going up, there it goes. There goes the node, and right above that is an object. Okay, so remember the reason we call it downcasting, we were a node and we went straight down and then we became a label. So again, if I do that again, Control-T, this is a node and the label is right here. So to go from node to label is downcasting. Okay, and that sets up our reset button.